them come. This is their fate.
All right. Welcome back to the House of Wolves podcast. Probably one of the most unpredictable dropped podcasts out there, I would say. We took some time off. We had some vacations pop up. And the last time we just didn't coordinate anything. Nobody said anything, so nothing happened. So we apologize per usual, and we're going to hope to be better in the future. One can always hope anyway. Jalen, Josh, how you guys been doing? What you been up to? Why did we have such a long break? Which I've been playing, and from your lens, how you doing?
Well, y'all know me. I'm usually the one at home, ready, available. Y'all two busybodies got stuff going on. People visiting.
And then it's my turn of events. So
for a while, I didn't have much going on. I've just been here with the family. It's super hot here in Japan, trying to stay cool. But I've been playing actually a lot of games. So I don't remember the last time we talked about Street Fighter, but yeah, Street Fighter came out. We was playing it. I enjoyed it a lot. I finished the single player, and then I just been online trying to rank up and get better. I was doing all right with Chun-Li, but she's like a high skill character. Like you have to put in a lot of work to learn her. So I switched over to like a more simple character, Marissa, and I just jumped online without even practicing none of her moves. And I was losing, of course, but like she's actually really simple, like what she does, and can like, I don't know, push through a lot of mechanics without even being really good at the game. And so like I've been ranking up with her a lot. I started at like, what's the lowest rank, whatever, iron, and then now I'm up to the top of bronze with her. Just from playing, and so it's fun. I think I might do that for a while, try out different characters, see how they feel, because everybody is pretty good. It's just some characters you have to, like, especially Jury. Like I want to learn how to play Jury, but like you have to like really understand her mechanics and moves and put in a lot of effort to be good with Jury. So we'll see. I don't know who I'm gonna stick with. Who you been playing with? Still Manon?
Yeah, I still been playing with Manon. And she's working with me really well right now. Fighting all these people have gotten better at using modern controls, because honestly I was very simplistic in my tactics, and I wasn't really using everything. So I was just doing that, but over time it just let me understand what her kit was, especially going up against people that were using her with non-modern controls, classic controls. So, but I've gotten a lot better with her. I'm still gonna stick with modern until I feel to a point where I can't go and I have to get to classic, because at that point then I have to really commit to learning her playstyle and truly like. I really like the fact that I can bounce around to a lot of characters and still be good with them. I really don't want to give that up yet. But it might be one of those moments where I have to. But I'm at like, I've really been going on a tear. I've been like 10 win streaks in ranked. I'm at gold like 3 or whatever. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get to platinum if I continue to play. But I just stopped. But I just it's allowing me to get better with modern, and it's also showing me what classic can do, because if I come up with someone that's mirroring me, sometimes they are very much so like, oh, you drop a combo every 5 seconds, Deontay, but they don't. So you got to be a little bit better than that. So it's just really trying to get me better at using them and how I implement them and mixing it up so they don't know what I'm going to be doing next, because they get to learn your patterns, and it kind of gets bad. But overall, I'm enjoying it. I had a great time. I played it for like 6 hours or something, like 5 hours or so. That's like between the last 2 days. And they get intense, so I'm having fun. But nobody else play it but me and you. I don't know what's going on with these other people, but
waiting on Jalen. But yeah, other than playing a bit of Street Fighter, I bought a fight stick for the game, and just to get like more used to it. Like I feel pretty comfortable with it, but just the button layout is a little bit awkward sometimes. So I've been playing a bunch of other fighting games. I played all the Marvel vs. Capcom games, 1, 2, 3, and Infinite. Playing those, and then I was also playing a bunch of other Capcom like versus games, X-Men versus Street Fighter, Capcom versus Tatsunoko, like all the games I get my hands on. I've been playing all those well, I like fighting games, but I've never really put all the time into them, but to really get a feel of like what is the difference with a fight stick and a controller. So that's been a lot of fun. And then we finally took a family vacation, went to Hawaii for a week. It was a pretty short planned trip, but it was really, really nice. Like Hawaii is a lot more beautiful than I expected. Like honestly, with Hawaii still being like a state, and I'm struggling to like figure out why would I pick Florida over Hawaii, because Hawaii is just way nicer. All the beaches are really nice. The food is expensive, but that's what you deal with like tourist areas. The biggest thing I would say is that it's Japan is hotter than Hawaii, but you get a lot more sun in Hawaii. Like you look up in the sky and it's all blue, like no clouds, and like around 1, 2 o'clock that sun be out and it be beaten. So you need to be in the shade. The one good thing about that is though, like every hour or so, like it'll just rain for like 2 minutes and then stop, and that's like a nice cool refresher if you just out on the town.
Oh, okay.
And and I would say the best thing that I experienced is that the people in Hawaii are just really, really nice. Like you hear all the time stuff like if you go to New York, like New Yorkers don't want to be bothered, they don't want to talk to you. Or if you go to like on the West Coast people like to like just have conversations and talk to like random people. So it's different stuff that you experience in different regions, but like Hawaii, everybody was really nice. Like no matter where we went, if it was just like out in the town, people would talk to us. If we in restaurants, people nearby talk to us, or even the TSA at the airport. Like all the TSA agents at the airport were really nice to us, and it was like, the TSA is never nice.
No, they're not.
Yeah.
So that's a good change there for real.
Yeah. So I definitely want to go back, spend more time there, because especially when you have kids, it's hard to plan a whole day. We're gonna spend 8 to 10 hours out on the town doing stuff, and realistically, you only be outside like 4 hours and you're tired. So we want to go back and see more of like the nature walks and stuff, because we didn't do any hiking or like go out diving or anything like that. We'll wait till the baby's a little older. But, I would definitely recommend go to Hawaii if you can.
Okay, well, that's good. No, that sounds because especially when you're not expecting. Because I think I'm assuming that you didn't expect much and you was like pleasantly surprised. So that's always great too. So no, Hawaii has definitely been something I wanted to go. Everybody just kept saying it was too touristy, and that was what we was going to try to do. But we ended up, I think, embarking on St. Lucia. We like St. Lucia too, but we might end up going back to or at least trying out Hawaii as well on our next go around. Probably wait till they get a little older. Because I don't like spending money when they don't remember it. I'm not going to Disney so they don't remember it. They're going at 5 and 6, and then they're going to remember it because I ain't going back. I definitely want to go, and obviously I'm going to try my best to travel with them as much as possible too. So we gonna definitely have some family trips for sure, all of us. And when Jalen, decides to settle down and just when whenever that day comes, we will. We all can do something like that. So that'd be fun. He can come too if he just want to hang out with some families. That's on him. But
I'll be in that big.
The invitation is there. But yeah, okay.
My friends put me through, man. I was like, man, you ain't got no kids. You can't be around.
He said, pay your fare. What you mean? You ain't got no kids? Oh, no, you can't come out here, man.
You need to have a kid to entry here, bro.
You gotta have a kid to entry.
Man, I ain't got one, man. I need a candidate.
You gotta have a little mini-me to get out here. Nah. No gatekeeping on the family trips.
I'm just trying to be big. I'm just trying to be big unk, man. Like, Uncle Taylor, man. You know me.
Yeah, Uncle Jalen give them all the candy and send them back. Yeah, sure. But okay, yeah, that sounds like a good time. What about you, Jalen? What you been up to? What you been doing these past couple of weeks?
Shoot, I ain't really been up to nothing. I've been playing. I just bought Final Fantasy. I'm waiting for that to come in the mail. Other than that, I ain't been doing too much or nothing. Really just trying to lay low and ready for this new Final Fantasy 7 to come out, man. I can hardly contain myself right now.
That new Final Fantasy, yeah.
And I mean, obviously, we've been playing Stankin' or Elden Ring with the Millennial boss or whatever, Stephen Graven, but we ain't gonna get her no credit on this podcast because she got enough of that. But you know,
yeah, she really annoying. But she's very much annoying. Like I don't know what to say on that, but outside of it's more than likely going to be easier if you get a mimic and fight her yourself than us all three, because it just makes it harder, especially when we're trying to attack her at the same time. But we gonna keep going at it. We enjoying ourselves. But yeah. Anything else? Anything you want to share, or is that pretty much it? That's all with you. Before I get into
I mean, that's pretty much with me. I mean, you asked me to download Gears 5. I mean, I got that downloaded. Halo 6 or Infinite, whatever you call that. Played a little bit of that. Boring. I mean, I ain't gonna say it's boring. It's cool, but it ain't OG Halo, man. But it's cool though for what it was. So other than that, I ain't got nothing.
And that nostalgia hit different for Jalen.
It ain't no nostalgia associated with the whole time. I'm like, I'm sad, man. I'm like, bro, this is not infection. They got AI infected and stuff. I'm like, bro, what a flood at, bro. But
yeah, those details always. Yeah, them details matter.
Well, yeah, I mean, because I played the same like Halo games as Jalen when they came out, and like it's not Halo 3 or Halo Reach, but for me, it's just a big improvement of like their most recent games that I enjoyed a lot. But yeah, it's still got a lot of issues, and it's taking a long time to like
iron them out. Yeah. I think the biggest thing right now is just customization. Entertain me to actually want to continue to play. I don't like the whole, challenge slot system. I think it's very annoying and counterproductive on having a good time in there. But overall, I think the game is solid as in gameplay. Like the modes we have, the solid, like the shooting, the movement. I think all of those mechanics wise is great. I think now they need to build on the software, like the other stuff, the aspects of the game that makes it the loop fun. Like I need a satisfying loop, and that's when I'll start picking it up more often, because I don't not enjoy myself when I play. I always enjoy myself, especially with the new like things they have, like the warp, the little warp thing now they have, and the ball they use, the dome invisibility dome that you can throw out, and kind of all those little things that they're adding that's actually just fun. I enjoy, but it's really the other parts of it that's really annoying. So once they get that stuff down, I don't have any problem putting that game in and actually playing it every now and again, especially when they have some good content drop. But they just don't have that loop right now. It's just very much so a bad structure. So once they fix that out, I'm more than happy to play it. But what was I playing? What was I doing? I was playing a lot, and I was playing Jedi Survivor. I was playing Final Fantasy 16. Elden Ring. I beat Hogwarts Legacy. Everybody was doubting me. I doubted myself. I said I wasn't gonna beat it. I beat Hogwarts Legacy. And I'm gonna talk about that too. But I got some other stuff I want to talk about. I don't want to give it too much time. But I think right now I front loaded with Hogwarts. Hogwarts is a great game. And I start there. Hogwarts is a great game. It's just not the game that is what everybody is explain or is just hyping up to be. It's definitely not game of the year. It just has such great detail in the world that you feel like they deserve some, like a lot of credit. It finally feels like Horizon when they first built that world, and you was like, wow, y'all did this. Like, that is what I feel. But the overarching story, the mechanics sometimes, the UI, a lot of things just start to become like abundantly redundant, and they stop it right before it gets too much. So that's I really like their pacing of it and how they did that, because like honestly I was so tired of doing like the trials. By the end of it I was like, I don't want to do another one of these, and the way they did the last one, it didn't feel like it was as bad as the other one. So I'm glad that they kind of stopped it before it got too bad. But overall, it's a C+ game. But the world is fantastic, and a lot of the mechanics really surprised me by the end. A lot of expansive things that they put into it. The beast stuff, the breeding, the making your own, making your own place, like really just all of that. The room of imagination, or I forget what it's called now, but that room is really, really cool. And I played and tinkered with a lot of it just because I thought it was awesome. So they nailed a lot of stuff, and I don't want to say that it's a waste of time to play it, because it's not. It's just not the greatest thing I've played, because a lot of the categories that I was grading it on, they kind of fell short. And I didn't find their combat to be that interesting or inspiring by the end of it. So it was just really the moment to moment action fell short a little bit for me outside of the world, and it did at times just feel a lot of chores that were trying to get completed. But it's that way with every game. I think I was not in the mood to play an open world game at that moment, and as I was trying to force my way through it, it made it worse. But the game overall, the setting, the world was top tier. Everything else was a little bit mid. So if you like the Harry Potter world, I think you will really, really, really enjoy this game. They do so much for the details. They do not play around. That game is truly a Harry Potter's fan's dream. But outside of that, it's just a lot. A lot of,
with a good haircut.
Yeah, with a really good haircut. Not so much on the physics of those capes, because they always get caught and they look weird. But the physics enough of the time are pretty great too. But the hair is immaculate for the black people, for sure. So I'm not gonna spend too much time on Hogwarts, because honestly, it does not. I don't want people to consider it a bad game. I just want them to know my take on it after finally beating it. And again, C plus for me. But we're gonna move into some topics now. But one of those topics correlates with what I've been doing lately. Outside of gaming, I just been chilling at home. I haven't been doing much. Just enjoying time with the family. I haven't went anywhere recently outside of a few small events with the family, but more so haven't took any vacations and don't plan to this year. Probably going to be something we try to do next year, depending on how the year ends. But outside of that, let's move into these topics. The first topic I want to talk about is, let's talk about Final Fantasy 16. I'm not going to spoil it. and I don't want to like spoil it, but I think we kind of I had this conversation with both of you guys separately. I just haven't had it with the audience as of now, so I want to kind of bring them into the conversation. So I've been playing Final Fantasy 16. I've put about 25 hours into the campaign and or to the game essentially, and I can understand how a lot of reviewers gave it a great score, and a lot of the players are providing feedback. I'm not saying it's all great feedback or it's bad feedback, but they're providing feedback. And that tells me that there are areas in the game that could be better. But before I read all of that stuff, I had to kind of come to my own opinion. And my opinion is that they do a lot of great things and they do a lot of normal things. When that normal hits, you can find you can find that experience elsewhere implemented better. So that's where it hurts. And that's where you kind of see do I really want this style of game to be the future of Final Fantasy? And that's where those debates come into play. I'm not saying that it's not a great game, but this feels like Final Fantasy's second real, like, not miss, but it falls in the realm of 15 for me. It's not like it's terrible as 15, because 15 did a lot of things wrong. But this one is way more focused. The story is way more interesting. The world being shown to you is way more grand and in that Final Fantasy fashion. But at the end of the day, it is like a very high budget movie. They even got cinematic strikes, cinematic dodges, cinematic takedown. Like, they call it cinema because it is cinema. And I don't know why people are upset about that. I understand that you pay $60, $70 for this game and you expect good gameplay. But you also get a great story. So, I don't know. I think people have to really come to terms with their expectations and what they truly want from Final Fantasy games. I think when I look back and reflected on the games I played of past, I've always geared myself towards gameplay, could care less about the story. This one now has provided a much better story for me, that now I care more about the story than I do about the gameplay. But that does not mean the gameplay is bad. It just means that it's different and it's not as good as the story. So if you're not interested in the gameplay but the story, you might still have a good time. But if you really want that gameplay and that story to match, you're probably in for disappointment, because you can find that experience elsewhere and done better. I can't speak to the side quests and the story building because literally I'm still in the midst of it. And a lot of people have already mentioned that these side quests and things like that have branching stories and they continue on and they get bigger. So you don't want to miss out on any of that stuff. So I am going through and I'm doing the side quests as well. So I don't know how great the side content is until the end of it. But right now it seems satisfactory and I'm learning a lot about the people around me, which I like. And it's also, it just plays into the story. So I'm happy for that. But again, it's not as if you gotta run out and buy this game if you don't really want it. It's not skippable to me because I found something I enjoy, but it is not that overall God of War package that you probably thought it is. It's not. It has its ups and its downs. It is very jarring, and I'm mad I kind of watch Digital Foundries now because every time he said it, and now every time I see it, I don't like it. The amount of very still individuals in the side quests compared to the big grand CGI over the top, cutscenes that they put in it when you're actually doing something important. It's just jarring. You kind of can tell, like, okay, did y'all put any effort in this? With all their mouths are moving. That's it. You're not really doing anything else. But then there's moments where it does. So it's just kind of like it doesn't match up. So I feel like I'm starting to see where they cut corners to kind of make the game as great as it is, and they also had to minimize the grandness of the world and less interactive. Very much so. A lot of dead zones. You can't walk into this grass over here because you just can't walk into that grass, and stuff like that. Where it's like, okay, this is very much so world. It's world breaking. You're kind of breaking the world down for me, and I don't like to be pulled out of it. But at the same time, I know it's a video game, and if you stay on the beaten path, you're probably going to be fine. I like to explore. I like to see stuff, and it's not much to see. And you're definitely probably not going to enjoy how easy the game is. I don't have to look up no guides for this game. If I have to look up a guide, I'm probably I'm just not good at action games because there's no reason to look that up. I have never felt like in the 25 hours I've played even threatened to even work harder. All I've done was to get through the fights faster. And I learned how to make sure that I'm using all my tools to its advantage. So it's never been a time where I felt worried that anything was going to kill me in the game. So keep that in mind too. I'm not a hardcore player. I do play games on hard a lot, but I'm not like the greatest player ever. So it's probably going to be easy for the average person. So, I say all of that to say I'm still enjoying my time and I still want to finish it. So take that for what you will. But I think that's just an honest opinion, is that the reality of the situation is that this is not a out of the park 10 out of 10 game. This is very much so a 7-8, and it could be a 6 in some people's books simply because of those things I just mentioned. I haven't graded it yet because I haven't finished it. I am very much so putting a lot of this. I'm putting a lot of points in the story because I don't care about the rest. So the story and the world building, not so much, because again, they always do a fantastic job with that, and I think the world itself is pretty interesting to look at, and like it's just like a very pretty picture all the time. It's just always nice to look at, but I don't know. It feels like lacking in some spaces. It's not like JPEGs like it was in Final Fantasy VII Remake, so that's great. It's just, I don't know. I think they had to. You can tell when they had to cut back some stuff when they couldn't go as big as they was, and it's the problem is that I'm fighting it up against itself, because there is not, on this scale, I've seen like large fights, but when I see a fight that's happening and then I see another one where they try to go even grander, but then I see the cutbacks in it because of why it was so big and grand, it kind of makes me feel like, well, they probably had hit the limitation. So I think they're just fighting against themselves, really. They showed me what they really could truly do, and then that when they try to go bigger and bigger and bigger, and you could see that, they had to minimize this. They had to put them in a white room because they couldn't do all that. Because, it's just like too much. So I think it did itself a disservice by doing such a crazy moment in the beginning of the game to not you have everything to compare it against. And sometimes when they keep going further and further and further, it's not as grand as that initial one that they wanted everybody to see so they can sell the game. But overall, I'm still having a great time, but the story is truly where I'm putting all my eggs in that basket. Hopefully we're going to get something special there. Jalen's going to have it in a little bit so he can kind of tell you guys his thoughts once he completes it. Hopefully that's soon. Hopefully it's not. 6 months from now, but hopefully it's soon that he tries it out. I don't know. I think that story is it might captivate him. It might not, but we'll see.
If they got some good music and a good story, I'm in that. Now we'll see though. I mean, I should have a game like. I think it should be delivered by like tomorrow or something like that. So we'll see what's going on with it. By next podcast, I at least give it a whirl.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know if you played the demo, but that's like you keep that save data. Yeah, that save data over. But if you don't, that's fine too. You can just play it. But it's just literally the first 2 hour, first like hour or so. But yeah, that's Final Fantasy 16. I know. I don't know. It might not be what everybody wants to hear. Hopefully, it still gave you a little bit of information about it. Because I don't know. I'm not saying the reviewers were blind to it, but they definitely rated it higher than I expected them to as I play it. And hopefully it's really the story that just brings it home. Which is fine with me because I've played pretty stories plenty of times. I mean, look at Uncharted, you can look at any of those. Last of Us, that's a pretty story. I mean, it's not really a game to me. So, but yeah, those I've played plenty of those. So this could definitely just wow me off of that, and I can still give it that higher grade without it. With the lacking in elsewhere. So we'll see. Any thoughts on that, Josh, before we move on to other stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen all the stuff that you talking about. People have different impressions on it. Personally, I don't feel like most of those things will bother me because like I just had different expectation going into it because this. Especially from everything that people are talking about, this seems like a Final Fantasy 14 like expansion, or like they take that same core and expand on it with a bigger budget for the areas where they're gonna put the budget. But like the NPCs not having much animation or stuff like that, like those are all things I expect from Final Fantasy 14. And at least with that game, I don't have the expectation that it's gonna be a 10 out of 10 action or like the whole world is fully detailed and explorable, but the core things which I like, which is the characters, the music, the overall story, and how it all ties together is what I enjoy about that game. So as long as this can still deliver on that, then I think I'll be happy with it. And with like the disparity between like the budget and like different things, like you said, that can affect your enjoyment of some things, because like I like God of War 2018. I haven't played Ragnarok, but I like God of War 2018. But that first boss fight was the thing that got me hooked on the game. I really liked the fight with the stranger. But at the same time, that high point, the game never reached that. Again, none of the boss fights were anywhere close to that beat. So that did bring down my enjoyment of it overall. But I mean, I haven't finished the whole game, but it seems like people are saying the boss fights, at least, they're gonna keep that same, not the same. Let me just put this way: they introduce you with the first boss fight with Ifrit and Phoenix, and they're gonna keep that same idea with all the other bosses. Some bosses are better than others, but they're at least aiming for the same peaks. So the rest of the game might not reach that, but the boss fights, that's where they're putting all of their thematic focus and stuff like that. So hopefully you continue to see a bunch of crazy stuff throughout the story. But
yeah, I'm hoping so, because I think that's what I am going to be getting into, because I mean, the story is getting better, so I'm expecting those spectacles to be better too. And people have already mentioned that these are some of the grandest things they ever seen. So in the Final Fantasy games, period. So I'm expecting and to be in for a treat, and I do want to get to that content too. So I don't want to judge it too harshly right now. I just want to mention what I'm playing and what I'm feeling as in this moment. And I think what You're talking about they delivered on if I just was to stop right now, but I need to continue, so I'm going to continue.
For me, what you said, at least, I think as long as it's better than 15, because 15 I was actually disappointed in. Like, I don't like the game at all. And it's, as long as they deliver on the stuff that they're good at, I think it's a satisfying entry, because not every Final Fantasy game is good, but at least if they can build a good foundation that's going to be around for a couple more years, I think a lot of good stuff can come from it.
Yeah, that's true. I think the other scary thing is that they really depend on Clive to tell the story, and Clive is the only person that's really important. So it's kind of, if you don't like Clive, you're not gonna like the story. But I think anybody would like Clive. I think he's a really great lead character. So I think it'd be hard to like. Nah, I don't really bangs with dude to come out of that. But it's possible. I'm not saying that it's not. So we'll see there. His supporting cast is great too. So, but yeah, that's Final Fantasy 16 from us. Let's move on. Okay, Apple is reportedly scaling back production plans on its $3,499 Vision Pro mixed reality headset. Yeah, I mean, they're claiming that it's because of the part shortage and things like that. I don't believe that for a second. I think they realized what the demand was, and now they're scaling it back because nobody outside of influencers and people that have the budget to spend are going to be buying this initially. So why create 1 million units when you're probably only going to sell like 130,000? So they're scaling it back to they're going to probably make less than 400,000 now. But I don't know what that exact number is, but it was a request for 1 million at first. What are our thoughts on this thing? My thoughts is that, I mean, okay, we already gave our thoughts. I'm just talking about this scale back. I think this scale backs the complexity of this whole device, the universal appeal. I think it's a fantastic thing to get people talking about AR. I do not think that this is going to be the item that people are going to jump into to really change the game. This is going to be a push off point for Apple, and if they would decide to continue to put time and effort and money into this, the 4th iteration will be the one, the golden ticket. This is not it. This is just a prototype that they're going to get people to buy because they're Apple fans. What are your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, I think one thing is really expensive, and I don't think that consumer market is where it was ever going to find like a big market, because rich people and influencers are going to be the ones primarily buying it, just because it's so expensive and it has a really niche use. But I think for this scaling back is also bad signs that businesses are not buying into it, because Apple's actual revenue, not all of it, but most of it does come through business customers. So if they can't find a market for this for businesses, I think that's not good for the product long term, because it does seem very good and innovative. But they need to get it in hands of people who can use it and then build off of that as a platform, because it's a computer, but they need people to make software for it, and apps for it, and make improvements for it and things like that. So they really need to find, I guess, the business market to support it, and if not, then it's just going to be a waste. I mean, they'll take that in what they learn from it and then take those features and put it in other stuff, but we'll see how it actually does once it actually gets in people's hands.
Yeah. I still don't. I have zero. I don't have zero faith. I just don't have like it's going to be such a small market at the beginning that it's not really going to be impactful unless they really churn out some money for it. So I still got my money behind Meta because Meta has churned out the money. And I think that their AR system that they're going to be creating, like the one they just dropped, and probably like 4 iterations down the line, it'll probably be the device to have. Apple could do that too. I'm not saying that they're not going to have, they're going to have the higher end market. I think the bang for your buck is still going to be sit with Meta for a while. So what are your thoughts, Jalen? What you think about this Apple Vision Pro?
I mean, I don't really know.
Do you think that this adjustment is telling or no?
I don't think it's telling, man. I feel like I feel the same with all Apple products. When they come out with something, it's just like they just got enough of a cult following to people that's going to supplement this device and make themselves believe that they really, really need this device, if that makes sense. But that's just me, and I'm probably a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, but that's what it is.
That conspiracy theorist, for sure. What? Yeah, I just, I don't know. I'm not trying to rain on their parade. I think they are a very smart company, and they do have a lot of good technology within this. And I think it's going to be hard for other people to copy a lot of it. But the most important things will be utilized. It's not that they reinvented the wheel on a lot of this stuff. The biggest thing that I seen that they did was the eye tracking, and we'll see what happens. But that 2-hour battery life, it just seems as if it's not there yet. Either our batteries aren't great, or the sensors and everything that's needed to run this operation aren't small enough and capable enough yet to really run at a efficient level. So, and I hope it's not heavy because it's made out of aluminum. Like, why? I mean, why y'all using metal when everybody use plastic? I just don't know. I feel like they make some interesting design choices. So we'll see. But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to kind of mention that Apple is thinking ahead, and they don't want to put too many of these on the market, especially when nobody's going to buy them. So it's kind of tough there. I think the same thing will happen with their AirPod Pros, the AirPod Maxes. They're just too big and bulky and heavy. Nobody want to wear them. I mean, influencers do, people with money do, but most people they're okay with their AirPods. And I think they hit a market where they need to stay, and then I think they sometimes try to cater to the larger and grand, which is fine because they mark up their stuff enough to cover the cost. But I don't know about this one. This is a totally new thing. This is where we got to get people to buy in. This is a UI system. This isn't This isn't iPads. This is a whole new thing. This is like a bigger version of your iPhone that made you guys special. This is like a whole new thing, and I really want to see what they could do with it. We've been dealing with Mac OSs for forever, and they just now trying to figure out a way to backdoor into PC gaming. That's ridiculous to me. So I just don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't know how innovative they can be. I think they have to. I think they have to control it, and if they can't control the processing, the abilities of it, and the thought behind it, or at least like the structuring and all of that, the software, they got to control it. If they can't control it, I don't know how well they suit us for innovation. I just think they are going to make the package pretty, and that's okay. But I'm just sticking with Meta for a little bit. We'll see though. But yeah, let's move on to my next topic. SSDs are falling to the prices of almost literal pennies. No, they're not literal pennies, but they're falling fast, and it is making me really mad about this Series X, like I said over. So I went ahead and I copped me a nice little upgrade in SSD. for my PS5 because I was just like, forget it. I'm gonna go with them. They cheaper. $60 for 1 TB of the fastest. I think it's like 7,500 megabytes of read speeds. Got a heat sink on it. $60. And I'm just like, I don't understand how they're falling so much, because literally a year ago they were like 180, 190, and I just don't get how they fell so much. And I haven't really looked into it that much to kind of give like a deep dive into it, but I just wanted to mention that there's really good sales right now on SSDs if you're looking for high quality storage on your PC, on your PS5. All of them are hitting really well, and right now I'm looking at it like a little deal alert for a 2 TB SK Hynix for $125, the 2 TB. And yeah, I'm just kind of blown away by how right now certain things are falling and certain things are not. Did you see all the I'm seeing a substantial amount of price drops in cars too, Jalen. So that might be something you might want to look into. But I'm seeing a lot of price drops on a lot of different things. They're not like everything, but the stuff that I was like keeping an eye on, at least, some things are just kind of settling out or really dropping and hitting the floor. So I don't know what this means, but all I can tell you is that if you're in the space right now for some SSDs, take a look around, because they got some really good prices right now. So just wanted to throw that out there, share that. Any thoughts on the lower prices in the world? Have y'all felt it anywhere, any space y'all dwell in? Anything that y'all seen going down, or not really? It's always nice to
still scamming. They still scamming.
They still scamming. It's nice to analyze the world in this way. Like, prices are going down on little things. I wonder what's happening. Like, technology don't usually go down, especially not storage. So I was like, I'm trying to really surprised by that. But like, I can literally buy a SSD for cheaper than a hard drive right now. And it's weird because like the prices for the hard drives ain't adjusted yet. Like for 2 TB hard drive, like what? I just don't get it. Yeah, I'm looking at a 2 TB hard drive right now, and they still want 60. I'm like, I can get a 1 TB. I can get a 2. It's just weird. So it's like they're literally falling to prices of like crazy prices. So like I said, just look out for that. But anything else that y'all have seen? I've seen like video games getting good deals, but they not really like deals. They're like promotions. I haven't really seen anything like tech related that like really had a significant price drop outside of SSDs. So I'm thinking it's isolated event, but it's a nice one. All the same.
Yeah. No, I haven't noticed it really in like just normal stuff, but I mean, it's good because prices for a while, especially after COVID, were really high for a bunch of technology, especially. And I think
GPUs are falling. Yep.
Yeah, and then I'll say like SSDs, at least storage always falls like pretty consistently, but I just think that SSDs took a longer while to like fall in price.
Yeah. And I'm glad it's kind of catching up. So I just wanted to mention to you guys, if you was out there looking for something, definitely check out the SSDs right now. They're a little bit crazy, especially the faster ones. I really don't know what's happening, but they are being priced better than normal. And you know, I always shout out the individual Wario64 on Twitter. He's very good at providing nice links to the nice deals, also slick deals, but Wario for some reason is faster. He's like a machine. But yeah, that's all I wanted to mention on the SSDs. So there was something that I thought was really cool that came out recently, and I just wanted to mention it because we kind of did a little poo-poo on this game when it first came out. Dying Light 2, Good Night, Good Luck update. It came out a little bit ago, and what it basically did was fix the night cycle. Made it darker, made it more scary, made the crawlers come out. I forget their names of like what they actually call them in there, but basically it's the ones that can hunt you down. They put them out there on the streets. They usually just be in the containment zones, or I forget what they call them, but the danger zones essentially in the game. Now they roam the streets, and they made it darker. They made it less like, you can jump around and get on all the UV lights and get out the way, and it just made it more intense. I haven't played it yet, but based off of the gameplay and the trailer that they provided for it, it looks like they did a good job. A lot of people are feedback wise is that it's great, that it's a really good update, that they did a good job on that. So I'm interested in hopping back into it because I still haven't beaten that game, and luckily I bought it digitally, so I couldn't sell it, so I can still have it. So I'm going to go try it again. Hopefully this time it's actually worth it. I just want the night to feel rewarding to be out in, because it just didn't feel that way. It felt like, man, why am I out at night? I don't need to do this, because it's not really a point. So they put more rewards out. They took more things that happen during the nighttime, and they made the amount of your rewards that you receive, or like the XP you receive at night, better. So all of these tell me that you need to go out at night, and it's going to be scarier. And that's all I cared about in Dying Light. So, yeah, I'm kind of excited to play it again. I don't know when I'm going to jump back into it, because I still want to beat Final Fantasy, of course, and then I want to get right back into Jedi Survivor. But I'm going to definitely put this on my list to kind of get back into and play it. And I just wanted to give an update on it because, like I said, we weren't the greatest fans of the original game, but they have done update after update, and this one seems like the pinnacle of those updates. And Dying Light has always been great, or the developers have always been great at supporting their game throughout whatever. So I never had lost faith that they were going to fix it. I just didn't know when they were going to fix it. So they're doing a lot of good things. So I'm going to still play it and test it out, and hopefully it's good. I'll report back once I've actually played it. It did come out on, I believe it came out June 29th. So not that long ago, but if you guys want to test it. I remember seeing,
well, I might skip it because I'm kind of off zombie games, but I might revisit it in the future because I did enjoy a little bit what I played of it, but it just wasn't hitting for me. But when it came out, I remember people saying it's probably better to just play the first game because it has so much content and it's overall a better game and stuff like that. But with them supporting it and hopefully they can bring it up to the quality of the first game. So once they're all done supporting it, it's equal.
Yeah.
And at that point, it might be worth for checking out when it's cheap. But
yeah,
Jalen, the zombie game, man, right? You gonna play some more zombie games?
More zombie games? No, those it's kind of tough, but
Hey, when you said you zombie game, I'm like, man, it sounds like a repeat of me, man. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I was really surprised when he bought it initially, because I was like, I didn't think he was gonna play it, but the
nighttime stuff seemed interesting, like you run in for survival and stuff like that, but it
was totally different in this game. Yeah. So now that they fixed it, I'm interested. So I'm gonna go back and try it. But yeah, I agree. I wouldn't go out and buy it again. They kind of lost the faith when they had a chance. Like, you were one of the part of that chance, So I respect that too. Like, at least providing it a chance. But after that, he's like, I'm straight. That's why I felt the same way. I was like, Cyberpunk, I can't really get people to play it, but that game was still awesome to me. But at the beginning, it was terrible. So I can't really get mad at people, or they can't get mad at people for even not wanting to play it and give it another chance, because literally you had that chance. That's when I paid for it the first time. So I get it. But yeah, I still wanted to give them a shout out, wanted to give them the kudos to keep trying. And because I bought it digitally, because I had that much faith in that game, I still got it, so I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it out. But yeah, I'm not gonna buy Dying Light 2 right now. I'm wait till like $10, $15, $20. I'm gonna play Dying Light 2 now. So I got me a zombie fix because yeah, I was kind of mad about Dying Light 2 not living up to my expectations. So hopefully this can change that and get it a little bit back up there. So good. Any thoughts on Dying Light 2, Jalen? Another game you can cop, man. You know you love them games. No.
I ain't that game. Let's say right there, bro. I like that game so much I can hardly contain myself. I'm gonna sit it right there.
How do you? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on. Let's move into some weird stuff. How do we feel about AMD FSR 2.0? Really, how do we feel about AMD locking DLSS out of games? Isn't that weird? Or does NVIDIA do that too?
I'm pretty sure that they both done it at some point, but I think it's just really stupid, especially for PC games. Like mixing and matching PC parts is common, and to punish people for not having one or the other it serves no purpose. It doesn't help anybody. I don't think it improves sales because I'm not gonna buy an AMD graphics card so I can play Starfield, if I already got like a good graphics card. So it's just dumb. And it kind of sucks, at least in my opinion, with FSR is not as good in my experience as DLSS. And so it's really just hurting NVIDIA customers for no reason.
Yeah, I think the rise of the guy with the mods is going to come back full force, where he's literally, I forget his name, but he's like modding games to put DLSS in it. And he's actually making people pay for it. It's on Patreon. So that'd be interesting to see how that dynamic turns out. But really, he did it with other Bethesda games, so it's not like it's bad. And he's not like he can't do it, so he's gonna do it with Starfield as well. But I just found it interesting that they were literally slotting or at least locking features that make the game run better for people behind a paywall or behind a exclusivity rights for AMD cards. I feel like if it's just an AMD partner, it just runs better because it's meant to run better on AMD. But to have that FSR lock and that DLSS lockout is kind of weird to me. So weird practice, very, very unusual L for AMD. They usually are on the right side of that, but not this time. That's a little weird. But they have been doing it lately for a lot of other games. I just didn't realize it. But this is one of those ones that they're also going to be doing for exclusive PC partner too. This kind of feels like Epic. Epic's tactics a little bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, nobody want to play on that stupid stove, bro. Nobody wants your bad achievements, your bad store, your bad launcher, your lack of cloud saving, your lack. Oh, they got cloud saving. I'm not gonna disrespect them like that, but they're just lack of features in general. It's just not there yet. So no, I don't want your cheap games or your free games either. So yeah, but just wanted to mention that because I thought it was pretty interesting. I don't know. I think a lot of the Microsoft stuff plus this is kind of it's interesting, all of this exclusivity stuff that's been coming out, and very interesting to kind of have a conversation around. But honestly, this Microsoft thing is too big to sum up. So what I'll say is that don't believe them because they all liars. Facts. That's all facts now. Pretty much, you ain't gonna see Elder Scrolls for a very long time, so don't think you will. There was like this has nothing to do with cloud gaming or the consumer. It has everything to do with Sony. And I don't even know who's still gonna win this. I mean, it looks good for Microsoft, but at the end of the day, it don't either. I don't really want to wrap this, like, I don't want to talk about this at all because it just seems like it's just all over the place. I think there's that like very interesting things, and then there's a lot of just fluff. So I don't know. Maybe y'all can sum it up better if y'all been following it. From what I could tell is that, simply put, nobody really wants this to go through, but it might still go through. That's what I got from it. I feel like a lot of people are just coming out the woodwork to stab Microsoft in the back, and it's like, interested. Canada, why would you say that right now? And then there's like, interested. Why are you guys still why are you still not interested? Why do you still feel this way when it literally can show you that their cloud gaming base isn't the greatest, nor will acquiring Activision even do it, because they don't even like to jump into cloud gaming, because they pool most of their stuff because they don't want, like, it just doesn't seem like it's really about the stuff that they're arguing. It just sounds like they don't want them to have it, which is fine. Just say that because you think, and then argue your case. But I don't feel like nobody's arguing the case that you guys buying Activision takes them off as a global third party publisher, and it kind of puts them in a space where you can lock down their exclusivity to your console, which would bar other platforms from being able to be utilized. And understanding your Call of Duty is the biggest one, but that is for all of their content. So just saying that, but at the same time, it's just like, even with them saying that, they have counterparts to that. They're probably not going to do it because it's just not good business sense, but they can. And that's where it's kind of worrying. And that's where people are like, okay, let's make up something to try to get them to not just go through. And then gets a little shaky from there. So, yeah, can you try to wrap this up in less than 5 minutes?
I mean, yeah, I don't have too much to say because I'm not a lawyer and I don't actually know all the inner workings of what they're talking about. But like you said, the cases that these like Sony and other people are bringing against Microsoft don't actually seem that valid. But still, because this purchase is so big, I think there's a lot going against Microsoft as far as it being like a monopoly and things like that. So there's a good case to stop it. But I think for the reasons brought up in court, they're not really sticking like, they should. The case, what they're arguing is not that valid, in my opinion, at least. But we'll see. The judge said they're supposed to have a verdict sometime soon. I don't know if that's going to be a final verdict or somebody can like challenge it again later in court. But we'll see. If it does go through, Microsoft still has other hurdles, like they got to win the same type of case in the UK. But yeah, it seems like a lot of people, Nvidia, Google, Sony, they really just don't want this to happen. They're going to do whatever to stop it.
Yeah. Sony is very interesting. They didn't even, like, a lot of the stuff, the commentary around it was that they didn't care that they were buying them, and they thought it was not that big of a deal. But then at the end of the day, it is. I guess they kind of sunk in that, they're buying Activision. You have to deal with them. And you have to send them your console. Maybe that's the biggest problem. I don't know. Whatever the non-compete, competitiveness of it, whatever it is, Activision is a big seller. They're probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest. And they make a lot of money. And they sell a lot of games on those consoles. And in order for them to continue to do that and do it well and be a partner, they got to deal with Big Mike. And Big Mike, he out there. He buying up everything. So I get the whole play. The play makes perfect sense to me for a business. It makes them have leverage. It makes them have the ability to lever that. And really put the emphasis on, we don't have to deal with you if we don't want to. And put pressure on them to play a little nicer in the field. If you're not playing nice over in Japan, we ain't gonna play nice over here. And that's just the end of it. I mean, you can have all your Japan stuff. We gonna still do stuff over there. But y'all dang sure ain't gonna be doing nothing on the Activision level. I don't care how much money you throw at Bungie. They ain't gonna make no Call of Duty. So it's just that simple. So, and I think Microsoft know that. They know that. And regardless if it's Call of Duty or if it's a platform, or if it's a mobile game, or if it's Blizzard games, whatever the case may be, they gotta come see me. You gotta come see me when I'm Activision at that point. So that's all it is to it. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this all shake out, but I'm not waging no bets, and I don't know which way it's gonna go, because the way you think it's gonna go, it always goes the opposite. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But yeah, what else? Anybody excited about the Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag remake? Yes? No? Maybe? Anybody like that game? I loved it. No. Anybody like it?
I think it's a good game, but I don't trust Ubisoft remakes. Like, all their remakes have been bad, so I don't care.
Dang. I mean, yeah.
They remade 2, it was bad. It was worse than the original. They remade 3, which was also bad. They did all the, like, Liberty's Cry and all the other games, so I don't see any reason why this would be different. And the Prince of Persia remake is, like, just
canceled.
Yeah, so...
Jalen, wasn't this your favorite one? I could have sworn you said this was the best one, right? No? Maybe?
No, I don't think so.
You don't think so? Do you know?
I know so, but I don't think I said anything like that before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you said Final Fantasy Assassin's Creed Black Flag was your best one out. For sure.
I don't think I said that about any Assassin's Creed game, because I don't like none of them games. Especially after Unity, boy, what? Man, you sound crazy.
I could have sworn you told me you like the ship combat. All right, maybe I digress then, but maybe it wasn't true.
I definitely ain't say Black Creed. No. Definitely ain't say that, because like I ain't even know that game had ship combat till you told me, so it couldn't have been me.
All right. Maybe it was me. Okay. Well, I'm excited, but not too excited. I'm not gonna hype myself up, but I really did enjoy that one. But at the same time, I don't want to just play a game I already played, and it got to be on some like Resident Evil 4 remake level for me to really be interested, because it just can't be the same game without lacking like polish and things like that. So we'll see. And obviously, Josh, you kind of hit it around the head there. It could be lacking. So what about Only Up? Only Up is a new game taking over the streaming world, and it's literally just going up, and it's so gimmicky. And I think he's got like a copyright strike going on right now. Basically, he used somebody's assets, and that was only supposed to be for non-commercial use. So I think the game got to get updated and remove some of that stuff and put it back in. But basically what you do is you just go up. You literally just climb up and try to get to the top. You get to space and you win. The premise is simple, and it's very much so great streamer content, because once you fall, there's literally no way for you to grab on it. You're basically just free falling. I mean, there is some times where you get lucky, but most of the time you're probably going to hit the bottom if you fall off. And it's great content that way, but I don't know. I never was I don't know, it's $7.99 on Steam right now for the Steam sale. Would you play it for $7.99?
No.
You don't want to give yourself a headache? You don't like free headaches? You don't like good headaches? What about you, Jalen? You don't like good headaches?
Bro, I was watching that game, man. I was like, let me say this for later because I need to see what people be going through when they play this game. Because I just seen this dude rage so bad when he fell from the stars on that game. I'm like, bro, what is this game? So, that and what else was it? It is something else. I mean, I seen that they removed it off of Steam for like at least a day or something like that. So, I'm like, I need to see what the game is, bro.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I was due to that copyright strike or that copyright infringement. So he had to probably change some stuff up. But yeah, it's just literally you trying to get up to this very top sky platformer. Not the greatest platformer, but it's a platformer, and people seem to love it and enjoy it simply because of the just the stuff you do in it. So. I don't know. I'm not giving no headaches
industry
out.
Plant.
That's what it felt like.
Industry plant. That's all I got to say.
It felt like that. It felt like it came out of nowhere. I don't know who streamed it first, but for a game like this to come out and get so much attention really fast, does feel like an industry plant. It feels like a.
Because games like this could be fun. Obviously, everybody played Fall Guys and stuff like that. But those games are like actually have something going on. It's multiplayer. You can play with your friends. You play online. Whereas this is just like I would say there's no reason why anybody should be interested in this game over something else of a similar type. But it's blowing up. It's everywhere. You got what's his name, Dr. Disrespect playing it and stuff like that. So. I think it's an industry plant, but it's whatever. I'm not buying
it. Yeah. I mean, I ain't gonna hate. They doing their thing, but yeah, no. I am not openly signing up for a headache. That's not happening. What else? Yeah, they got like speed runs. People doing it in 20 minutes. It's so much. Yeah. I'm just watching some of this right now. It's like hilarious. But yeah. I don't know. Anywho, let's move on. I think the last thing I wanted to talk about was wasn't nothing important. The Suicide Squad is getting like an anime series. Did you see that? Anybody?
Yeah, I saw the trailer for it.
Yeah. Did it pique your interest? Did you think it looked cool animated like that?
Why don't you tell me your thoughts first?
I was like, nah. I was like, at first I was like, oh, that'd be cool. But then I was like, I saw it and I was like, nah, I don't know. I mean, it might. I just don't. I don't know. I don't know what until I know. And right now, I feel like it's a little too. I don't know. I mean, I watched it and then I was like, okay, this could be cool. Then I watched it again and I was like, why she look like that? Why he look like that? Mm-hmm. Then I kept looking at it and I was like, nah, I just stay the same. Y'all animation, and I could see y'all in this light. Like, remember when Batman did the samurai one? What was it called? That one was cool. I didn't think it was bad. But it was still in their art style. But it was just like, more elongated, more extended fights, more, flashy Japan. But this is like full on this look like a Japan character with in cosplay of Joker, and this look like a anime character in cosplay of Harley Quinn. And it doesn't. I don't know. So I don't want to judge it too harshly, but right now I wasn't impressed. I felt like I was like,
yeah.
I don't know who
The
needed
art
this,
style,
but I don't need it.
yeah, and character design is not strong in the sense that it, like you said, it's not. It doesn't have to be fully faithful to the original source stuff, but it should still have inspiration from it, but your own spin on it. So
Yeah.
this is the classic Joker, classic Batman, but we put our own spin on it, and it fits here. Whereas this, like you said, it feels like a normal anime, default characters, but they're dressed up like DC characters. I mean, I have a lot of stuff against it because I think DC's animation is always very good, and so they have a high bar to reach with that, and this is not hitting it for me with the art. It's Suicide Squad Isekai, which Isekai I talked about before is the story where you're taken from the real world and you're going to be dropped into a different world. So you're going to be inside a computer, or you can be inside a fantasy land with dragons and stuff like that. And I'm personally not into isekais. And then the biggest thing is Suicide Squad is kind of oversaturated. Like, we had a bunch of Suicide Squad stuff that I don't really care to see this. Like, the movie was good. I got my fill of that, and the Harley Quinn TV show is good. I kind of don't need any more Harley, and so, like, I don't know who this is for, but I'm not gonna say don't watch it, but I'm not interested in it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was Batman Ninja. That's what it was called. Batman Ninja. So he wasn't. Was he samurai? I thought he was samurai clothing though. Why they call it ninja?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if he was a ninja or not, but yeah, he had samurai like shoulder pads and stuff. I think it was just a mixture. Like, maybe he was fighting samurai, but he was helping the ninja.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I really don't want to just poo-poo on it because I might like it, but right now I'm just not that into. And it looked like the Joker from Persona. I was like, what the heck is this? Yeah, I wasn't. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in it yet, but hopefully when it comes out, it's actually entertaining. So we'll see. But yeah, outside of that, I don't really have much else. I didn't really want this to be a long one. There's not that much that came out, and if we missed something, I apologize. I know that Netflix is doing a lot of things I don't like right now. You know how they're now splitting seasons, part 1 and part 2. You get one part 1 month, and you get the next part the next month, simply so they can keep people buying and not closing out their subscription and binging it. So that's new. And it's like right on the heels of them doing the whole thing about, like, I would think you would have more money now that you stop people from being able to share. But now you're doing part 1s, part 2s. And they did that. They doing that for Lincoln Lawyer. They doing that for The Witcher. They did it for all their popular shows. So I'm just like, I don't really.
Pretty soon it's gonna be week by week like Disney. They slowly moving towards that because that's how you keep people subscribed for more than 2-3 months at a time for one show. Yeah.
Yep. So I think that's what's going to happen. It's obviously in the works because this part 1, part 2 stuff is very cringy. And I'm pretty sure at some point we're going to have a lot of weekly content, but they're still sticking to their formula that made them big for now. But I kind of see the writing on the wall in order for them to hit that next level of money, and they're kind of going to have to start adopting the old stuff that made people sit down and truly watch a show and get that advertisement money. You can't live off subscriptions alone. You gotta get that ad money. So we'll see. Oh, that's about it. I ain't got much else. Anything y'all want to leave the people with? Any good nuggets out there? y'all want to drop before we get up out of here?
No. We covered a lot today. Hopefully, we always say this, but we got more content coming next week on time. Be there or be square.
Be there or be square. Any gems for him, Jalen? No gems? I guess not. No notes. No notes. No notes, he say. But yeah, okay. We'll leave y'all alone. Appreciate you guys listening. As always, if you enjoyed the content, please don't forget to like and share. And like I said, we're going to make sure we're here next week and on time. But thanks for watching as always, and we'll talk to you all in the next one. Peace. Watching. I said watching? No, it's listening. Guys, y'all let me get out of here while saying that. Thanks for listening. And then there's the peace.